Ah! The word Karen is nothing like the N-word. Oh my God. Y'all are really tripping on this. I can't do it today. What's up? What's up? It's Parker! With the ashy hands and fingers. And today I wanted to talk about Karen, the new term, and I want to talk about Lana Del Rey. I want to talk about both. They have a lot to do with each other. Okay, so let's get started. Me, I'm a black man. I'm a black man. I'm a black man. Okay? I don't have too much of a dog in this fight. However, comma, period, point blank, but all the conjunctions that we want to put right there, I feel like I have a responsibility as a peer to white women and a peer to black women, especially black women. I feel like I need to say something. We need to talk about it. That's the only way we can progress, is that we have these hard conversations with one another. So, I mean, people that are in your peer group, white women especially, Amanda Seales likes to say there are white people and people who happen to be white. People who happen to be white, y'all are our allies. You don't use your white privilege to hurt. You use your white privilege to help. That's what we want right now. That's what we need. That's what we've always needed this whole 400 years of oppression. And please don't get offended. You can't get offended if you're on the right side of this fight. You can't get offended. If you do get offended, you might want to take a look in the mirror, do some self-reflection. Let's get started with this Instagram post, shall we? And I think she has a point in here. Question for the culture. Now that Doja Cat, Ariana, Camilla, Cardi B, Kehlani, and Nicki Minaj and Beyonce have had number ones with songs about being sexy, wearing no clothes, fucking, cheating, etc., can I please go back to singing about being embodied, feeling beautiful, by being in love, even if the relationship is not perfect, or dancing for money, or whatever I want without being crucified or saying that I'm glamorizing abuse with 6 question marks. I'm fed up with the female writers and alternative singers saying that I glamorize abuse, when in reality, I'm just a glamorous person singing about the realities of what we are all now seeing are very prevalent emotionally abusive relationships all over the world. With all of the topics women are finally allowed to explore, I just want to say over the last 10 years, I think it's pathetic that my minor lyrical exploration detailing my sometimes submissive or passive roles in my relationships has often made people say I've set women back hundreds of years. Let this be clear. I'm not a feminist, but there has to be a place in feminism for women who look and act like me. The kind of woman who says no, but men hear yes. The kind of women who are slated mercilessly for being their authentic, delicate selves. The kind of women who get their own stories and voices taken away from them by stronger women or men who hate women. I've been honest and optimistic about the challenging relationships I've had. Newsflash! That's just how it is for many women. And that was sadly my experience up until the point that those records were made. So I just want to say it's been a long 10 years of bullshit reviews up until recently, and I've learned a lot from them. But I also feel it really paved the way for other women to stop putting on a happy face and just to be able to say whatever the hell they wanted in their music. Unlike my experience, where if I even expressed a note of sadness in my first 2 records, it was deemed literally hysterical, as though it was literally the 1920s. She's speaking about accusations from female writers that she glamorizes abuse. I don't listen to Lana Del Rey music like that. I don't really have that much of a dog in this fight because I don't listen to her music. I'm not a black woman or a white woman. But I still want to talk about this because it's very interesting to me. The controversy. Many felt uncomfortable with Lana naming other female artists, especially black women, to make her point. So that is the issue. It isn't even about her point. It is the fact that she put in Doja Cat, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, Ariana Grande, Camilla are white. So they don't count. What's blowing my mind? This is from a Twitter follower. Not my Twitter follower. What's blowing my mind is that Lana Del Rey is very successful, very accomplished. Her debut sold more records than names mentioned combined. What is she talking about? I think Lana's post would have been fine if she hadn't compared herself to a group of mostly black women with the clear tone that she thinks that she's been treated worse by the media, observably untrue. Lana blatantly ignoring the criticism Beyonce, Nicki, and other black women have received and continue to receive. This is the tweet. For being confident in their sexuality doesn't sit right with me. Commercial success hasn't made them exempt from the misogynistic attacks masked as constructive criticism. This is the tweet. I don't think I need to read anything else. I like Lana, but as a woman of color, her statement comes off as very tone deaf, mentioning a majority of black women in music who've all been literally crucified because of their sexuality explicit and trying to seem as though it's easy for them when it's just not it. Plenty of white women have had hundreds of songs singing about drugs and weren't ridiculed for it, yet 9 out of 10 of the women she named trying to prove her point were black women. Well, Ariana Grande ain't black. I need them to remember that. I need y'all to remember Ariana Grande is not black. I'm so into you, I can barely breathe. I love Ari, but she ain't black. So let's stop that. Let's stop that narrative. She is a white girl. She's Italian. She got a tan. She looks brown. She looks mixed. That's another conversation. And then Lana Del Rey decides to respond to all of these poignant observations. And she says, by the way, the singers I mentioned are my favorite singers, so if you want to try and make a bone to pick out of that, like you always do, be my guest. It doesn't change the fact that I haven't had the same opportunity to express what I wanted to express without being completely disseminated. You're fucking digging yourself in a hole, baby. And if you want to say that has something to do with race, that's your opinion, but that's not what I was saying. Girl, it's not an opinion, it's a fact. Are you kidding me? This is the problem. Oh. To be clear, I know you, and she says you as the audience of the internet, right? We are the you, okay? To be clear, because I know you love to twist things, I love these singers and know them. That is why I mention them. I also like to have some of the same freedom of expression without judgment of hysteria. There you go. This is the issue right here. Lana Del Rey is using her position as a white woman in the public eye to complain about the way the music industry is going. If you're going to complain about it from your own perspective. Your struggle does not compare. It never, ever will. And the thing is, people like to say, well, why you got to make it about race? Oh, it has always been about race. This country is built on racism. That's the thing. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is so frustrating. Frustrating because there are a bunch of people who don't get it. It's so many people who don't understand that this is very wrong and toxic and bad because this white woman, Lana Del Rey, has hundreds of thousands of fans who love her and will support her and will back her and then say she's not using her white privilege for the wrong reasons. You can go out and speak on misogyny. You can go out and speak on sexism and classism, but you cannot. The only time you can speak on racism is literally exploitively explaining why it's wrong. In the Instagram post, she did not stand up for them. She said Doja Cat, Ariana, Camila, Cardi B, Kehlani, Nicki, and Beyonce have had #1s with songs about being sexy, wearing no clothes, etc. Can I please go back to singing about being embodied, being beautiful, and being in love, even if the relationship was toxic or not perfect? Has Beyonce not sang a song about being in a bad relationship? Has Kehlani or Nicki Minaj or Cardi B not had a song about being embodied and feeling their oats and being proud of who they are as a woman? Have they not made those songs? What? What are you talking about, bro? I can't. Here's the problem with this is very simple. You're going to have a point of view, and you're going to use black people's struggle or black people in your... If you can't, you know what? Just don't do it. Black people, all we ask is for people to respect us and give us the same opportunities that you're going to give your white counterparts. Black people and brown people in general. Lana Del Rey is trying to make a point specifically regarding herself. She is not trying to raise the bar for anybody else. She is raising the bar for herself. She doesn't want people to say that she's glamorizing abuse. Well then, speak to that. Don't bring up these other successful black and brown women. And no, Ariana Grande is not a part of that. All that to say this. The conversation needs to be had betwixt the people in privilege. And that brings me to my next case. First of all, Karen is a slang term in Wikipedia. I had no idea. You guys, this is some great news for me. It says, Karen is a slang term that is used to typify a woman perceived to be entitled or demanding beyond the scope of what is considered appropriate or necessary. One of the most Karen stereotypes is that of a white middle-aged woman, typically American, who displays aggressive behavior when she is obstructed from getting her way. Such women are often depicted as demanding to speak to the manager and sometimes having a variation of the bob cut. That's exactly what a Karen is. It's really just slang. It's not, but we all know a Karen. Some white woman who is extremely privileged and thinks that she can say whatever she wants to get her way. And here's the thing. Most of them get their way.
They call me a monster.
Okay, well then you ought to take it as a compliment.
The lady who called the people at the barbecue, the Kids Bop mom. Calm down! The lady who called the little girl at the little lemonade stand.
Ever. First of all, I didn't even know who was the one doing the shouting. I couldn't see. All I could hear was the shouting. I had no idea who it was. How could it have been race-related?
She says the backlash from this video has been painful.
I have gotten so much hate mail. I am getting continuously text messages with all kinds of threats. Horrible, horrible images and death threats.
Allison Edel says she's not proud of how she handled the situation, and if she had to do it over again, she would have gone for a walk instead of confronting her neighbor.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
They always complaining about black folks. Or they're complaining about something that is probably not a big deal. When you're right, you're right. And social media was right about Karens. You missed the point. Karen is a racial slur aimed at white women who appear to have clout because of perceived money. Just because you have an SUV and kids doesn't automatically mean you have money or act entitled. Demanding good service or assertiveness is not ugly. See, that's what I'm talking about. Well, Karen, or Carrie, Karen, you are exactly who we talking about. Okay, a Karen is someone who uses your white privilege for the wrong reasons. That means you feel like you are so in control of everything that you need to get to the, I need to speak with the manager, I'm calling the police. I bet you it's something that it's probably not a big deal. And then it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with your kids. It has nothing to do with clout. It's typically your demeanor. That's a Karen. It's your lack of sensitivity. That's a Karen. It's your lack of knowledge about being a minority or being an oppressed person in the United States. That's a Karen. It doesn't have anything to do with you being rich. I bet you half them Karens that was on the social media are not rich. They probably make about $40,000 to $50,000 a year. No shade to people who make $40,000 to $50,000 a year because that's me. Also, I'm not done. Karen is a sexist and racist term equivalent to the N-word for white women. Calling a woman Karen is an attempt to get rid of a woman's right to stand up for themselves. Any further questions? And they actually have a phone number here. I really want to call it. A lot of women are offended by this. They're saying they compare it to the N-word. They called it compared to the N-word. I bet you wouldn't say the N-word on live TV, but we can say Karen because it's not a big deal. It's only offensive because you're white and privileged and you want to live in that privilege. That's what's offensive. You're mad because we're calling you out on your privilege and you don't want to relinquish that privilege, baby. That's what it is. You need to look deep within, baby girl. Ah! It is not like the N-word. The word Karen is nothing like the N-word. Oh my God. Y'all are really tripping on this. I can't do it today. I am so glad that I have a peer group that includes the allies. People are always saying, well, what can you do? What can you do? Talk about it. The Ahmaud Arbery case. We all know what happened. Murder, a senseless, violent act. All of you who happen to be white that like to repost or comment or I'm sorry or maybe donate some money to the GoFundMe for a funeral. What you need to do is have the conversations with your Uncle Joey, your cousin Ray, Aunt Karen. No shade, but a little shade. Y'all need to have the conversation with them. That hard conversation that you don't ever want to have because you know they're racist. Have that conversation. Talk to them and say, look at this senseless act of violence that happened to this young man. Why do you think it happened? He was running. He wasn't doing anything wrong. Have that conversation. That's what's going to help us stop this generational racism. I say all that to say we are nowhere near the place that we thought we was going to be when we had Obama in the office. That's all I got to say. I am very passionate about this. I want us to grow together as a community, and I really feel bad for Lana Del Rey because she doesn't see the harm in her words. Don't bring them up. This is not their fight. This is your fight. You mad because somebody called you out for glamorizing abuse and glamorizing these weird relationships that you sing about. That's on you, boo. Don't bring up Nicki Minaj and Beyonce and Cardi B because, no. Those are my favorite singers. Girl, bye. Okay, that's enough. That's what I had to say today. That was trending on Twitter. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please leave a like. Really did. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification button and you can, find out when I post new stuff. And if you really have something to say, drop it in the comments. I really would love to hear your commentary. Oh, peace, love, bye! Because of the light. There are times when you need someone, and I will be by your side. Oh Lord, there is a light that shines. Woo! It's out of my register.